So I'm not at Burning Man, but it looks like that. I'm on the central plateau, the volcanic plateau. There behind me over there is Mount Ruapehu, which is an active volcano. People snowboard and ski on in winter. But as you can see right now, this is actually, when I've come here last, about 2022, in December 2022, this was all underwater. This is all dried out now. But as you can see, this is the road towards Tokeno ski field, which is just over there, over that way there. And there's Mount Ruapehu there. Whoa, there we go, Mount Ruapehu. So this is a video I want to make about closure in regards to relationships, it being romantic relationships, and the importance of closure in romantic relationships so you can move on with your life energetically, physically, mentally, spiritually. I had a short-term relationship with someone which is about 9 days. I mean a relationship because it wasn't just a fling, it was a relationship. And it was like, let me go this way here so you can actually hear what I'm saying. There's my band behind me, Golden Horse. So it was probably 9 days in total, I think it was. And it was the most intense 9 days I've had in a long time in regards to relationships. So I apologise right now for the sound. If it's too windy, you can hardly hear me because the wind's going through the microphone. But it's really bright here, so I'm squinting so I can see the camera, and I'm also looking at the sun. If I go this way here, unfortunately with the wind being as it is, it will come straight into the microphone, so you won't be able to hear me much. So if I go behind the van, maybe I might get a bit of blockage there. There we go. That's better. So, yes, closure in relationships, energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically. I really feel as though it's really important to come to a place where you have closure in relationships, because what it does for you, it brings together not only necessarily an essence of finality energetically, mentally, physically, and spiritually, but it binds the connection and it puts it into a container but you can pick up literally and figuratively and put over here in a memory in your life and move forward with your life in regards to opening up the doors for new connections without leaving that door ajar in a way that energetically drains you and allows energy to flow out of you towards that individual, towards that connection, if you choose not to keep it alive in any way. So for me, what I had almost flipping heck 4 weeks ago now, it seems like it was forever. Time for me isn't speeding up, it's actually condensing to a point where I feel as though what happened a week ago for me happened 10 years ago. That's what it's like for me at the moment in regards to time. So about 4 weeks ago, the woman I was the woman I was in a relationship with for 9 days, and it was triggering, it was a trauma bond. It was a trauma bond. The work that we did together was absolutely incredible, and I felt so at ease with her in every way possible. She was the perfect travel companion, and for me, and I don't like traveling with other people, but I love traveling with Alia. It was amazing. It was so easy, and the affection that was between us was so easy. It felt like we've been together for like 30 years. It did feel that way for me. And the beautiful thing about our connection was the ease of it, but also the work that we did together. And the last day, in the last few hours of that day, and the last day in general, it got very, how do I put this, in a nice way, interesting. And at the very end of that connection, it ended in a way that I did not feel like we had closure, and neither did she. And after that situation, after that experience, the way that I talked to her no longer landed in a way that was her receiving what I felt for her in regards to my loving presence, my fondness, my affection. It didn't land for her anymore after that last day. So I attempted, for me anyway, to have closure by, in that sense, energetically severing my connection with her by deleting her number on my phone, and therefore not having nothing to do with her anymore. Not in a way that was detrimental or awful or horrible to her, but purely in the sense that it was about, for me, energetically, that was how I was going to sever my connection with her and move forward with my life by doing that, because there was no connection for us, because what she said to me basically was what I was sharing with her no longer landed with her in any way. And when it no longer landed with her in regards to what I was sharing with her, my affection, my love, my sincerity, my my honesty, when it no longer landed with her, I was like, well, there's no real space in my life for this kind of connection, and therefore I'm happy to leave it as a memory and move forward from there. What she said to me was basically, no, this isn't going to work. Why would you want to delete my number for? Let's unpack what happened on that last day together. So I made the space of my day, and I just packed up my flat, my apartment I was living in Wellington that day. I spent the entire day packing. I was so exhausted. I had moved a bunch of stuff into my property as well, into my friend Jason's van, who took it up to the Kapiti Coast from Wellington, where I used to live, and took it to a property where all my gear is now supposedly in storage, but being used at the same time. And when she sent me the text and said, let's unpack this, I said, yeah, sure, give me a call in about an hour's time, which was about midnight. So I called her first, then she called me back, and we had a chat for about 45 minutes, and she unpacked for me what had happened on that day for her. And that allowed me to see what I needed to work on myself in regards to that connection moving forward. If there was to be a connection for us to be in a new chapter in our lives together, what did that look like? But it also gave me the ability and the time to be able to hear what she needed from me, and that was my work as well. Listening to what she had to say and understanding what she was saying to me, and letting her be, and finding a way to let her be heard that would also allow me to hear what she needed to say, so I could hear what she needed to say, what she was saying, but take it on board, listen to it, and unpack it in a way that made me understand how I could be a more loving partner, a more open partner, a more generous partner, and a more enlivening partner in a way that I could offer myself to her or to anyone else moving forward in my life in any kind of relationship in a way that was more sincere, more open, more honest, and more real, more authentic, more vulnerable. And she had been incredibly vulnerable with me in the last day we've been together. And that last hour on the phone we talked, she was open and vulnerable as she always has been with me, which I truly appreciated, because our connection revolved around vulnerability, authenticity, and realness. And that's exactly what I wanted to have in connection. And I felt energetically after that conversation that we had closure, in the sense that we could move forward with our lives, and whatever happened in our lives before that moment of us talking on the phone was a chapter in our lives with the door closed, and if we chose to, we could move forward and open up a new chapter and create a whole new connection in that space of knowing who we were, what we had before, and we could potentially move forward and have a connection that revolved around a friendship rather than being lovers. It's entirely up for us if we choose to reconnect with each other, because for me, after having that conversation with her, I felt like our connection was, our door and our connection closed. It's a huge wind coming across now. Desert road, they call it desert road, but it's like this across the tundra here. There's huge clouds of sand being blown up and dust moving towards me with this wind. Yeah, so there, for me, I really feel the necessity to have that closure in a way that allows me to move forward in my life if I choose to experience another connection with someone else in the near future, that I have closed that door energetically with Alia, so I can move forward in my life in a way that allows me to have the space to open myself up without energetically having any ties to her that would pollute, not in a bad way, or would contaminate a new connection. I mean contaminate not in a way that seems like malicious, but in a way that energetically would seem like it would pollute or contaminate or infiltrate. I don't know if there's the right word, infiltrate. These are all words that sound kind of like, have connotations of negativity, but for me there are just words with the connotations around the use of the actual word itself, the meaning of it, that would bring into that new connection, and I take it with me for my last connection. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Mā te wā. I'll see you again soon.